So we're discussing about courts, right? We are discussing about courts in India. So what are we going to discuss? Like Indian judiciary is stratified into many levels, okay, and we have the apex court is the Supreme Court, followed by the High Court, then we have state sessions court, then we have district sessions court, tribunals and panchayati, all those lok adalats, everything is there, okay. So the apex court is always the Supreme Court. Then we have Supreme Court, High Court, District Court, lok adalat and tribunals. So Supreme Court, when was it formed? We'll discuss all this yesterday. It was formed in 28 January 1950. Okay, consists of 25 judges, and we read the section also 124 to 147. Supreme Court, that's in Delhi. So what are the powers? We have discussed the powers yesterday, right? So that was 131 gives the Supreme Court exclusive. So Supreme Court has all the authority to deal matters that exist between the union and state. If there is any problem with the state government or the central government or anything between the state and center, then the High Court is not powerful enough to do that, because High Court is of the state, right? So it will be biased. So Supreme Court has also. So the problems between the union and states is taken over by Supreme Court. Then we have state and another state, and group of state and other states. No other courts in India has the power to entertain such disputes. Okay. Article 32. So I've told you earlier. So whenever we have any fundamental rights are violated, we have all the authority to go to Supreme Court and the High Court. Okay. Supreme Court is the protector of fundamental rights. So we have so many writs also. Yesterday we saw the writs. We're not discussing about the writs. I told you yesterday itself. And so Article 22 gives a citizen the authority to go to the Supreme Court or the High Court. So usually you can go to High Court directly. If you go to Supreme Court directly, you have to explain to them why you didn't go to High Court. Okay. So appellate jurisdiction, that also we explained yesterday under Article 132(1) of Supreme Court of India. Like you can take appeals from the High Court. Okay, you are not like, if High Court gives you death penalty, you won't be finished with that. Okay, you have another one more chance to appeal to the Supreme Court. Okay. Advisory jurisdiction, that is Article 143. We've learned about this, that whenever president of India, okay, needs some advice on any laws or any judgment or something, so president can ask the advice of the Supreme Court. Okay, ask the judges of the Supreme Court to give an advice. Fine. So they will provide the advice, and this is known as presidential reference. President can take the advice or he cannot take. It depends on the president. Okay, but if he wants, he can ask the advice. Okay, he can ask the opinion from the Supreme Court. Opinion he can ask. So that is known as presidential reference. So we have discussed this also. Supreme Court has the power to review any judgment. Okay, Article 137 provides review. So any judgments made by the Supreme Court, it has the authority to revise it or review it. Okay, that is known as review jurisdiction. So we were done till here yesterday. I think the network went in between somewhere. I don't really remember. So if the network has gone yesterday, please go to the recorded classes and watch the remaining. Okay, recorded classes will be there for you, right? Anyway, so now we will be discussing about the High Court. So we will be discussing about the High Court of India. So the High Court stands the head of the judiciary of the state. So judiciary of India, what court stands at the head? That is the Supreme Court. And judiciary of the state, which court is the judiciary of the state? That is High Court. Okay. So the apex court in state, that is High Court. According to Article 214, there shall be High Court for each state. Okay. So according to Article 231, there can be High Courts for each state. Okay. Article 231 talks about establishment of common High Court for 2 or more states and union territories by the Parliament. So union territories and 2 states may have a single High Court. Okay. Chandigarh and Haryana Punjab and Haryana may share one High Court in Chandigarh. Like that, Lakshadweep and Kerala has, and Mumbai and Goa has a same High Court. Mumbai High Court is for Goa is union territory, right? So and Mumbai is a state. Sorry, Maharashtra is a state. So Maharashtra and this Goa has a same High Court. That is your Mumbai High Court. So like that, the Parliament can decide when can a High Court be shared between 2 states. So the Parliament decides that. Okay. Yeah, we'll read about the sections. That is Article 214. Where do you find the articles? You find the articles in the Constitution and the sections in other laws. Okay. So Article 214. What does Article 214 say? So you just need to open your constitution. Okay, there's some error with this. The constitution is not working, I guess. For today, we will search for it. Okay. So, which was the article? Article was 214. So, Article 214. So, what does it state? So, Article 214 states that high courts for state and there shall be high court for each state. Okay, there can be high court for each state. That is what Article 214 tells. So, you have seen here that Article 231. This talk about each state, but Article 231 talks that you can states can share, states or union territory can share the high court also. Okay, that is why most states share the high courts. Some problem with it, we are not able to open the constitution. Okay, so okay. I know you won't read it by yourself, that is why I am reading in class, okay. It's a good thing to read it by yourself, so that we won't waste these times in reading in class. Where is it? 240. So, chapter 5, 214, section 2, sorry, article 214, okay. So, what does it state? There shall be high court for each state, okay, and 215, what is it telling? Every high court shall be a court of record and shall have all the powers of such court, including the power to punish for conduct of its own, okay. So, it tells about all the jurisdiction it is having in the state. Every high court shall consist of a chief justice and such other judges as the president may from time to time deem necessary to appoint. So, judges are appointed by the president of India, okay, chief justice. So, high court will be having a chief justice and some other judges, Every judge of the high court shall be appointed by the president. Who appoints them? President appoints them, okay. Every judge of the high court shall be appointed by the president by warrant under his hand seal, after consultation with the Chief Justice of India. Who is Chief Justice of India? Okay, the head of Supreme Court. Okay, after consultation with the Chief Justice of India and the Governor of State. Okay, they will consider with the Chief Justice of India and the Governor of the State. Then only they will appoint. Okay. You don't need to read all these sections. It will be hectic. You don't need to study. I am just telling you for the basic knowledge. You just need to know that under Article 214, high courts are established in every state. Okay. Then Article 231 talks about the establishment of a common high court for two or more states. Establishment of a common high court for two or more states. So, notwithstanding anything contained in the preceding provision of the chapter, Parliament may by law establish a common high court for two or more states or for two or more states and a union territory. Fine. So, you understood, right? So, Parliament has the authority to establish a high court for two or more states or a union territory. Okay. So, there are some exceptions for this. There are lots of exceptions. You don't need to refer everything, just need to know that according to Article 231, common high courts can be established. Fine. So, you will know about the high courts of your state, right? And this is High Court of Delhi, because I showed the Supreme Court, right? So, I told the High Court of Delhi. Powers. So, what are the powers of High Court? You have seen the powers of Supreme Court. Okay. So, powers of High Court is original. Where does it have original jurisdiction? All high courts have original jurisdiction in cases that are related to will, divorce, contempt of court and admiralty. They are empowered to issue writs on the order and to enforce fundamental rights. Election petitions can be heard by the High Court. So, what all powers is that? Every criminal or civil matter in a state can be handled by the High Court. So, these are just some crimes related to will goes into will deed means your parents are giving you your, like you are in one house, right? So they'll put a will deed like after my death my son will have my house, like that. So wills and all are there, all those things are there, right? So those all comes in civil, those are not criminal matters, right? Civil matters. Then we have divorce, contempt of court, so many. So criminal matters and civil matters both the High Court deals with of the state, okay, and of the union territory if it is a mixed High Court. So they are empowered to issue writs in the order to enforce fundamental rights. That I have told you that they are empowered to, issue writs. So whenever your fundamental right is violated, you are supposed to go. You have all the authority to go to the High Court, and there are some writ petitions. We've seen the writs yesterday, habeas corpus, mandamus, and all. So we have supposed to issue. We have the authority to issue writs on that. Maybe a person or a group of people or an institution, whatever it may be. If your fundamental rights are violated, you can directly go to the High Court and issue writs. Okay, you can directly go to the Supreme Court also. But if you are going directly to the Supreme Court, what you have to do? You have to tell them why to go to High Court. Supreme Court, they have so much work. Don't disturb them like that. So election petitions can also be heard by the High Court. Yes. So, in civil cases, an appeal can be made to the High Court against a district court's decision. So, appellate means appeals. Appellate means appeals or the appeals. Okay. So, in civil cases, an appeal can be made to High Court against a district court's decision. If a district court is telling any decision, okay, like you were punished for like 3 years, you can go to the High Court, you can appeal again and go to the High Court. If High Court is giving something, you can appeal again and go to the Supreme Court. Okay, you have all the authority to appeal. So, if subordinate courts of the High Court, district, session court, anything is giving any judgment, High Court has the authority to take that case. If you appeal it, they have the authority to take that case and review the judgment or give you judgment. Okay, so in civil cases, an appeal can be made to the High Court against district court's decision. In criminal case, it extends to cases divided by sessions and additional sessions judge. If the sessions judge has awarded imprisonment of 7 years or more, if sessions judge has awarded capital punishment. So, in criminal cases, there are some restrictions, like if sessions judge has given you something like 7 years or more or imprisonment for life, then only you can go to the High Court for your appeal. Okay, all those small cases usually they don't go for the appeal. Okay, so main cases are if the imprisonment awarded for 7 years or more, lifetime imprisonment, or death penalty has been given. Sessions court, they have the authority to give death penalty. Okay, if death penalty is given, then you can appeal to the High Court also. Administrative powers. So what are some administrative powers? Administrative powers is It superintends and controls all the subordinate courts. There are so many subordinate courts, right? Your district courts, okay, your sessions court, everything is there. Everything is under the control of high court. It's like a leader in the state, okay. Every other thing is like the under the control of the high court. So it is superintend and controls all the subordinate courts. It can ask for details of proceeding from subordinate court. If there are any cases are there, okay, and the high court wants to know the details about how they give judgments, how they analyze the evidences, they can directly ask the subordinate courts to give them the report, okay. So subordinate courts are supposed to give all the reports to the high court, okay, if they are asked so. So it can ask for details of proceeding from subordinate courts. It issues rules regarding the working of subordinate courts. So if there are so many rules, it can issue for the subordinate courts. For example, if sessions judge is given something like death penalty, they cannot, they have not have the authority to directly give the death penalty. They have to consult the high court, then only give judgment, okay. So there are some rules that high court can decide and give them to the sessions court or the any courts that is underneath it, okay. It can inquire into records or connected documents of any subordinate courts. I told you earlier, if they want to inquire, if there is some inquiry and they want any documents or anything of the subordinate courts, they have all the authority to inquire, okay. It can appoint its administration staff and determine their salaries and allowances and conditions of service. So subordinate staffs, the high court, can be appointed by the high court itself, okay, and it can decide, okay, not the parliament deciding, it can decide their salaries and allowances and the conditions, or what allowances should be given, should they give given like car facilities or things like that. So all those things high court can decide. Review. High court have the power of judicial review, okay. They also have the power of judicial review. They have the power to declare any law or ordinance unconstitutional if it is found against the Indian constitution. If your state government is proclaiming some law, okay, if state government is state parliament is proclaiming some law, it can, if it's against the constitution, high court will tell them to review the law, okay. You have seen so many cases, right? The high court telling the government to review its law, okay, check on its law, all those things. So high court is like the supreme authority of the state. So if there is any law that is against the constitution, they can ask them to review the law, okay. That is unconstitutional, you have to review it. They have, like, you have the legislature, judiciary, okay. So they can tell the legislature to review the law. It's like the parliament, one who makes the laws, the legislature, so they can tell the parliament to review its law. State, okay, not union. Union is dealt by Supreme Court. So powers of high court. So if you are not able to find the sessions, okay, if you are not able to find the sessions, then how will you find it? If you want to learn about the powers of high court, okay, and you don't know the sessions, so you just need to Google and type it, okay. So articles 214 to 231 talks about the high court. So that is how you find a session if you don't know the sessions, okay. So we will just see what is 214. So some I have not mentioned because you will have to search for yourself. So you have seen, right, there can be high court, then 216. If you read the sections underneath, you can see the powers of high court, okay. So some sections I have not mentioned in the PPT, but if you are interested, see, the salaries of the judges of the high courts may be determined. Everything is mentioned inside this. So if you are interested in knowing the section wise powers of the high court, just read the sections on the articles from the constitution, okay. Whatever is required for you I have mentioned in this, but if you are interested in law, you can search for the sections and review it, okay, review the presentations also. So we're done with the powers of High Court. Then we will go to district and sessions court. Okay, we have the district and sessions court. Usually when criminal time, we usually call it as sessions court. Okay, as per section 9 of criminal procedure code, the court is established by the state government for every sessions division. So there is one section in every there are so many sections in a state, so for each section there can be a sessions court. Okay, the district court. The court is presided over by the judge appointed by the High Court of that particular state. So who appoints the judges in High Court? That is the President after consultation with Governor and Supreme Court Justice of India. Okay, so High Court, this sessions court and district court, who appoints? It is appointed from the High Court. Okay, judges of the High Court only. Judge of the High Court only appoints appoints the judge of the lower courts or the sessions court. High Court may also appoint additional session judge and assistant session judge in this court. That depends on the case, the amount of cases coming. Okay, if there are too many cases coming, they can the High Court can appoint additional session judge or assistant session judge in the court. A session judge or additional session. Okay, we'll read about that. So what is the section? Section 9 of it's not article. Section 9 of Criminal Procedure Code. So CRPC. See, from section 6 itself, you can see the code. So, if you don't want to study from the PPT, you have all the rights to study from the CRPC. Okay. So, section 6 has defined about the classes of criminal courts. Okay. In the state, we have sessions court, judicial magistrate, second class, first class. We will read about it when we come to the other courts. Okay. Now we are dealing with the sessions court, right? So, that is section 9, court of session. Section 9. So, the state government shall establish a court of session for sessions division. Okay, every court of session shall be presided over by a judge appointed by the High Court. It's clearly written in points and points. Okay, you can write this for exams also. Write point to point. The High Court may also appoint additional sessions judge and assistant session judge to exercise the jurisdiction of court of sessions. Fine. The session judge is one section may be appointed by the High Court to be also additional session judge of another division. In such cases, he may sit for the disposal of cases at such place or the places in which other High Court may direct. So, what can the High Court do? Like, for example, this is your state. This is your state. Okay, this is your state, and your state has borders. Your state has different sections, right? 1, 2, 3, or your districts are there. It all comes under different sections. Okay, each section will be having its own sessions court. Sessions court. Okay. Each section will be having its own sessions court. Sessions court. Sessions court. Everybody will be having one. Okay, and all together, the state will be having one prime head, that is your High Court. Fine. So, who appoints the judges? Judges are appointed by the High Court for every sessions judge. Okay, they can also appoint assistant or additional sessions judges. And there is another one more thing that is mentioned here. So, for example, this area there are too many cases. Okay, for this area there are only less cases. So, what? Too many cases for the court. Okay. This area there are less cases. So, what can we do according to the cases? High Court has authority to, there is a judge here, right? There is a judge here, right? So, High Court has all the authority to appoint this judge here as additional judge, additional session judge. Okay, so there is already a session judge here, because there are too many cases. High Court has the authority to send this judge here as an additional session judge to come up with the compensate with the crimes. Fine. Where the office of session judge is vacant, so this is the fourth one. The session judge of one sessions division may be appointed by the High Court to be also an additional sessions judge of another division, and in such case he may sit for the disposal of such cases at such places or place. Okay. Where the office of session judge is vacant, the High Court may make arrangements for the disposal of any urgent application. Okay, like if the office is vacant, High Court has to make the arrangements. Okay, session judges may go on leave also. So the office is vacant, High Court makes the arrangement. That's all about in this session. Yes, now we will come back to our PPT. So, the court is presided over by judge, which is appointed by High Court. Everything we read. Then session judge or additional session judge may pass any sentence authorized by the law. Okay, he can pass any sentence authorized by the law, but a sentence of death passed by any such judge shall be subject to the confirmation of High Court. An assistant session judge may pass any sentence authorized by him except a sentence of death or imprisonment for life or imprisonment for a term exceeding 10 years. Do you understand this? So what does it state? What does it tell? You have your High Court, this is your state. This is your state. Okay, you will be having a High Court, right? So you will be having a High Court. And Sessions Court. So many Sessions Court, okay? So what are the judges in Sessions Court? First one is your main. First one is your main Sessions judge. And there is additional Sessions judge. Then there is assistant. Fine. There are 3 session judges. These 2, according to the High Court, only if they want, only they will send. If there is lesser cases, only session judge will be there. So what are the punishment they can give? Session judge can give any punishment. Okay, any punishment. Any punishment. Okay, he can give any punishment given under the code of the laws. Only one case is there, if he is giving a death penalty. If this sessions judge is giving a death penalty, then he have to, if he is giving a death penalty, then he has to consult with the High Court. Only then he is authorized to give a death penalty. All the other he can give. Okay. Additional suggestion judge, same thing. He is an additional judge. That means he has the same power, right? Additional means one more. Okay, not an assistant. Additional means just one more. So same powers. Same powers. Okay. He is having the same powers. Assistant session judge. So what power does assistant session judge now? He cannot see except. So assistant sessions judge cannot He can pass any judgment. There are only three that he cannot pass. That is, first one is obviously death penalty. He cannot pass death penalty. Okay. And second one, imprisonment for life. He cannot pass imprisonment for life. Okay. Third one, imprisonment exceeding 10 years. Okay. He is not authorized to pass death penalty, imprisonment for life, or imprisonment exceeding 10 years. That is not, he is not having the authority to pass all this. Okay. Assistant, we are talking about assistant session judge. Okay, not about session judge or assistant additional session judge. Okay, only about assistant section judge. Okay, so here that he cannot pass all these three. Okay, any other punishment if he has to give, he can give, no problem with that. Okay, so we are done with that. Yes, then there is something known as Court of Chief Metropolitan Magistrate. Chief Metropolitan Magistrate. So, the towns having population exceeding 1 million could be declared as a metropolitan area. Okay, you may be from a metropolitan area or a rural area. Okay, it depends. The Court of Metropolitan Magistrates are created by Section 16 of CRPC. The Court of Chief Metropolitan Magistrate and those of Additional Chief Metropolitan Magistrates are created by Section 17. Okay, so if your area which you are staying, the area which you are staying, your state is there, right? You will have so many. For example, take Maharashtra. Take Maharashtra. So Maharashtra having so many metro cities also, right? You have, for example, Mumbai is there. Pune is there. Nagpur is there. Then what is there? Aurangabad is there. So many places. Okay, so many places in Maharashtra. So if the area is a metropolitan area, metropolitan means population greater than 1 million. Population greater than 1 million. So in those cities, there is one court known as Metropolitan Court of Metropolitan Magistrate. Because if there is Sessions Court alone, there will be too many cases, right? 1 million people, all this will be, so many crimes will be there. Okay, so crimes will be there, like not criminal also, but civil also crimes will be there, right? So in those cases, the Sessions Court cannot handle everything together, right? So in a metropolitan area, there is provision in given a court that is known as the Court of Metropolitan Magistrate. Okay, Court of Metropolitan Magistrate. So where is it defined in? It is defined in Section 16 of Criminal Procedure Code. So we will see that. Yes, see, Court of Metropolitan Magistrate. In every metropolitan area, there shall be established as many courts of metropolitan magistrate, and at such places as the state government may, after consultation with the court, okay, the presiding officer of such court shall be appointed by the High Court. Okay, the jurisdiction and powers of every metropolitan magistrate shall extend to the metropolitan area. Okay, so in every metropolitan area there shall be established as many courts of metropolitan magistrates. Okay, as many courts. Okay, it cannot be one court. For example, our Mumbai is there, right? Mumbai is too much populated, too much population density in Mumbai. So it's not just single metropolitan magistrate. You know, number of, for example, there can be 5. Okay, Pune is less populated than Mumbai, so here can be 3. Okay, Aurangabad or Nagpur are much less populated than other two. There can be one. Okay, one each. Okay, it depends on so as the state government, if too many crimes are there, too many cases are there, then the state government can tell, after consultation with the High Court, can establish how many metropolitan magistrates court they want to be. They can establish that much in that metropolitan area. Okay, the presiding officers of such court shall be appointed by the High Court, just like your sessions judge. The presiding judge is appointed by the High Court. The jurisdiction and powers of every metropolitan magistrate shall extend throughout the metropolitan area. So, wherever there is a metropolitan area, okay, one part of Mumbai is a metropolitan area, population exceeding 1 million, okay, then that area will be under one metropolitan magistrate, okay, and where is his jurisdiction? Only in the metropolitan area, okay, because you can like for example, if you are taking only Mumbai, okay, if you are only taking Mumbai, there can be so many places in Mumbai, right, which having a population exceeding 1 million. So, for that, for example, 5 courts, for example, places they can be your Navi Mumbai, and there is so many places in Mumbai, right? So, it depends on the places, okay. If, there are some places in Mumbai, So, for example, Navi Mumbai has a population of more than 1 million. So, we have one court there. One court will be there. Then if your Andheri is having a population more than 1 million, another one court will be there. If your Kandivali is having more population than 1 million, another court will be there. Okay, it depends on the population only. So, it can be 3 metropolitan different area, but this judge will be presiding only over this area. Okay, this metropolitan judge will be presiding only on Kandivali area. Okay, this judge will be presiding only over Andheri area. This judge will be presiding only over cases in Navi Mumbai area. Okay, not entire Mumbai is not having metropolitan court. It's not like that. Okay, the different places will be having a court. Depends on the state government how much they want, they can tell. Fine. Jurisdiction and powers of every metropolitan magistrate extend through the metropolitan area, only. Okay. Yeah. So there is section 17 which is defining about chief metropolitan magistrates and additional chief metropolitan magistrates. We will discuss that later. There will be too much information, so you just bombard your brain with too much information that is not required. So what did we learn today? We learned about the High Court, I guess. Yes, we learned about the High Court. That is apex head of your state judiciary. Okay, 214 article, read it. 231 article, read it. Common High Courts. What are the original jurisdiction in the criminal and civil laws in that state? Okay, then fundamental right violation, that is also dealt with in the High Court. Appeals, it can take the appeals from the lower court. Sessions court is lower to it. Okay, so you can take metropolitan magistrates also lower to it. So you can take all the appeals from there. Administrative powers, it controls the subordinate courts, it appoints judges also. All those powers, you read this, right? You can inquire into the records, everything. Review, it can review any government policy and government laws. You have seen many cases in which High Court told the government, right, to change this law, this is not unconstitutional. So High Court has the power to review. District and Sessions Court, section 9 of CRPC, not your constitution, it is under CRPC, section 9 of CRPC. Okay. Presiding judges appointed by the High Court. There can be assistant or additional judges. So how much terms can be worked? Session judge and additional session judge can do pronounce any punishments, but if they are pronouncing death penalty, they have the authority to pronounce death penalty also. But if they are giving death penalty, they have to ask or consult High Court. Okay, assistant session judge, they cannot give death penalty, cannot give imprisonment for more than 10 years, and one more is there, right? Imprisonment for life. All these three assistants cannot give. Okay, assistant session judge. Metropolitan Magistrate for metropolitan areas, same as your Sessions Judge, he is appointed by the High Court of India. Okay. We will read section 16, read about section 16, CRPC. We will discuss it later in the next chapter. So, thank you.